Welcome back, friend. So we're continuing this conversation of how do we make millions of dollars in real estate? You got to understand 10 core foundational principles. And today I'm going to talk about the foundational principle of cash flow. You watch any of my videos, it's a word I use all the time, and you might be thinking, I don't know if I understand exactly what Kris means when he talks about cash flow. I'm going to give you my very technical understanding of that. I'm going to talk about why it's important. And again, it's one of the 10 principles that you need if you want to know how to make millions of dollars in real estate. So this is the principle that got me the most excited about real estate in the first place, because cash flow is tied to residual income. Cash flow and residual income are not the same thing. Cash flow is a leftover byproduct, which I'm going to explain to you, and residual income is money that comes in no matter what. They're closely linked. Check this out. We're buying a house, and let's just say for all intents and purposes that this is a house that we're buying for $100,000. I know some of you live in parts of the country, you're like, I can't buy a house for $100,000. That's okay. Connect with me and my team, get involved with us. I'll actually give you access to the markets where this stuff is real, so it's not just hypothetical. Some of you have backyards like in LA and New York where you should not be investing. Should not. You shouldn't be buying things above the national median. So if we have a house that we can get for $100,000, and let's just say for a moment that when we buy this house, we're buying it in a specific market where we're less interested in discount and equity and we're more interested in maximizing cash flow. Let's say that this particular house has once you buy it for $100,000, we're going to put a 20% down payment, which is going to be $20,000. So now the house, regardless of whether it's worth 100 or 120, we owe 80 on it. And that mortgage of $80,000 is going to have a payment associated with it. Let's just say that that payment on that mortgage, we're going to refer to that mortgage as PITI, principal and interest, taxes and insurance. All four of those things come into making up what your real payment is going to be. So your principal and interest of your total payment might be $500, but then you're like, well, taxes are $2,000 a year, so if I back that up and divide that out and add in my insurance, let's just say for this example that with principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, my payment actually becomes $650 a month. But let's say this is a house that you can rent out for $1,000 a month on rent. If this house is rented out and I have a true cost of $650 a month, what's left over? Well, $1,000 minus $650 equals a byproduct of $350 a month of cash flow. Now, cash flow means the difference between what's owed and what I'm getting. Residual income means I'm getting it without working. So let's say I own this out of state. Let's say I have a property manager managing it. Let's just say I do nothing but collect the money. Now that's a true residual income. So right now, the average millionaire has 5 streams of income. They don't just make all their money at a job and that's it. They have multiple streams of income. You now have a new stream of income because maybe one stream is from a job and now another stream comes from the property that you own. Now, the $350 a month, if you take a look at that, think of some of the bills that you have in life. I remember when my first car had a payment of $340 a month. That house would actually buy my car. So I could be driving all around town and enjoying this car, and the reality is it's actually being paid for by my house. It's not me trading dollars and hours. And this is really the goal of cash flow. You have got to stop trading dollars and hours. This is what so many people don't understand. When my wife and I bought our first house, we were living for free because the basement we brought in, the cash flow covered the whole mortgage. And we still got to live in a part of the house. My second house had a $600 a month cash flow. So living for free and getting $600 a month, on the third month of owning that, my wife, who was terrified of investing and totally skeptical, finally said, Kris, I keep getting this leftover $600. What is this? And I said, honey, that's called cash flow. She's like, okay, what do we do with it? She was trying to do the budget and the balance sheet and couldn't figure out where to put the money because it didn't come from my job. I said, honey, we now have 2 streams of income, job, and now we also have our investments. And I asked her, I said, what have you been doing with it? She's like, I've been paying off the credit cards. I'm like, how does that feel? She's like, I love it. So after that conversation, you know what my wife said? She said, Kris, we need to buy more real estate. That's when we dreamt of producing a cash flow of $10,000. Now we reverse engineered. If you know how much money that you want to make that will buy your freedom, then you got to ask the question, how many homes do you need to buy to meet that? For us, we knew that we needed 25 homes. And that if we could find a way to buy 25 homes, then we would have $10,000 a month. And I'll tell you that by the time we got to 25 homes, it wasn't $10,000 a month, it was actually $12,000 a month. And that's when I quit my job. And I realized, oh my gosh, I'm free again. Like I'm off of financial life support. Like I can live life the way I want. I can live life on my terms. It was so exciting. That's why you need to understand this principle. $350, you might look at that and say, Kris, that's not a lot. No, this is the magic number. How many homes do you need? And then you start saying, but Kris, I don't got the money to buy 25 homes. I don't even have the money to buy one. And that's why you need to learn how to buy homes with OPM, other people's money. That's why you need to learn how to be resourceful. It's not about how many resources you have. It's about how resourceful you are. And I'm going to teach you how to be resourceful, that I'll show you how to get your hands on deals, how to get your hands on money, marry the two, and get deals done. And neither have to be yours. So understand that the goal here is to buy properties with good cash flow that makes sense, that can ultimately help you achieve your goals and achieve your dreams. My friends, that's the principle of cash flow. There's a lot more to teach on this. There's a lot more to share. And I'm just reminding you that if you want access to to my personal 10X course, I've made it crazy affordable. It's actually one of the products I designed for everyone on YouTube, because just like my young daughter, I want to give everyone access to the baseline information for the 10 principles you need so you can have a foundation. When you have a foundation, you can build wealth on that foundation. And so if you click the link, you've got full access to it. Otherwise, make sure you are a subscriber, because one of my next upcoming videos is going to be part 3 in this series, which is going to be me sharing and enlighten you on one of the next 10 principles that can help you go from nothing to millions.